best passing game of the year offensively. We had 2 turnovers, so we did better taking care of the ball than we have done at times, but, still not good enough. We ran the ball all right. We've had games where we've ran the ball better this year. So, regardless of what the statistics say, I felt like it was our best game of the season offensively, just from evaluating the film and taking into consideration who our opponent was. Chanute's a great team. We knew that. I thought Chanute played really well. I think they're a really well-coached team. And I'm glad we got to go against them. You want to play great teams. And I felt like our offense stepped up and performed at a higher level than it has this year. And I think our best football's ahead of us, and I think we're going to continue to prove and take another step forward this week on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. And then, kind of getting right into that, we've talked about it here the past, 5 going on 6 weeks about execution, doing the right things, making sure we're lined up correctly. All that, we've slowly gotten better. I'd say raising the bar, not lowering the bar there, but we've slowly gotten better at eliminating those bad plays, those turnovers. I mean, obviously there's going to be some things that wrong reads. It's high school football. You're going to have that in a sense. But, we're right there in so many of these games, and just kind of wanted to get your opinion of what you think the next step is in turning these promises drives not only into points, but unfortunately, these L's into W's. I mean, there's those every game that we've seen this year, it just seems like there's a few things that if we change it, we flip a switch. And I know first year it kind of irritates you a little bit too, knowing that, but you like to be in every game.
No, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's, I believe it's kind of one of those things like winning breeds winning, losing breeds losing. So right now we're stuck in a losing cycle. And once I think we figure out how to start finishing some of these games and winning some of these close games, I think you'll see the football program kind of continue to move forward in the right direction, and just we'll start winning these close games. And I think when we start doing that, it's going to turn into, man, you guys got a lot of close games. How are you finding a way to win all these close games? And my answer at that time is probably going to be pretty similar to what it is right now, and that's, we do take practice pretty seriously. We watch a lot of film with the players before school. We have kids putting in work after school. We believe in accountability. Accountability being we're going to respond based on the actions of the player. So what's hold people accountable mean? Well, it could be good. It could be bad. Everything's going to be earned. Holding a kid accountable isn't always a bad thing, but we're responding to their actions, positive or negative. So if we struggle with something in practice, we're going to try to address it right then. An example of that would be, I think we talked about last week, we struggled with the snap a little bit. Center and quarterback stayed after practice and got in extra snaps. All the aspects of the game, all the fundamentals of the game of blocking, tackling, ball security, those are things that we're really focusing on, because we believe if we're a fundamentally sound team and we play really hard, we're going to give ourselves a chance to compete and win. Right now we're competing. We need to find a way to win. I feel confident in the things that we're doing. I think we just need to stay the course. Bill Walsh has a great quote, champions behave like champions before they are champions. We're not losing heart. We believe in what we're doing on and off the field. I mean, this week, I've got probably about 90% of the football team in a weights class, and we're maxing out this week. And, honestly, every single player has gotten a new max in something. And I was just looking at the numbers today. Over 85% of players on the team have a max, they've gotten a new max in more than one of their core lifts of bench, squat, and power clean. So I believe in what we're doing in the weight room, and I think as we continue to get stronger and faster, that's going to help us win some of these close games as well. So we're putting in the work. We just got to stay the course, and it's frustrating right now. It should be. But we feel like this is our moment. This is our time to step up and take it, and we believe we can do that this Friday.
Absolutely. And then I do want to apologize to you two. We've had some technical difficulties there, but we're going to take our first break of the night after talking offense. Tonight's show is brought to you by New Grille, proud supporters of Fort Scott Tiger football, serving up great food and small-town hospitality since 1946. Come by and join us every Wednesday night for Coach's Corner right here in the heart of Fort Scott. And after this, we'll be right back with special guest, defensive coordinator Coach Glades. So we'll be right back after this 2-minute break.
Playing the greatest hits of all time. You're tuned to the fun one. Good times, great oldies. All hit 103.9. KOMB-FM. Fort Scott.
It's your hometown diner, the New Grille, located in downtown Fort Scott. Great classic food served in a 1950s setting, serving classic cafe breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop in and enjoy their homemade chicken strips and onion rings, or American classics like cheeseburgers with grilled onions, Susie Q's, roasted chicken, and daily specials. Classic food served in a classic setting with hometown service. Stop in at 24 North National in downtown historic Fort Scott. Bowman's New Grille.
D.O. Banwer Bolton, CPA's PA at 7.5 East Wall in Fort Scott, believes in supporting our Tiger and Greyhound teams. It is their hope that you take a moment to go see our youth play. That's from D.O. Banwer Bolton, CPA's PA, another sports booster in Fort Scott.
Hydrix TV and Appliance True Value at 1508 South National is a proud KMDO-KOMB Sport Booster. Call them today at 223-2660 for high-quality appliances. That's Hydrix TV and Appliance True Value.
Cale Nelson State Farm Insurance in Fort Scott is proud to support the efforts of our youth in Fort Scott, Uniontown, Pleasanton, Jayhawk Land, and other area schools. Whether it is in athletics or academics, we are proud of your efforts. Cale Nelson State Farm Insurance, providing insurance and financial services. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Pecan Occasion Shop loves being a Tiger Sports Booster for all Tigers, for all sports. When you want to show how much you care but words are hard to find, send something from Pecan Occasion Shop on South 69 Highway. Call them at 620-223-5190.
Don Doherty and Doherty Insurance are proud of all of our area Tiger and Greyhound teams. See Doherty Insurance for all of your insurance, investments, and annuities at 14 East 2nd Street in Fort Scott. Another proud KOMB Sports Booster.
All right, and we are back here at New Grille here in downtown Fort Scott. Coach Glades, thanks for joining us. It's good seeing you. Here. Hopefully you got a good dinner already cleaned up there. That's perfect. But from the booth, it looked like Chanute's tempo and quick passing game made it tough kind of to get pressure without an extra guy or two. And then so with that, what were they doing schematically that – I mean, obviously we saw film knowing what they were going to do, but kind of that set it off different because they run, a spread college style type offense. So.
And I got to give credit to Chanute. He's done a great job. The way they run their spread offense is they do spread you out, and they made you guard every square inch of that field. And it's every play, every snap, and you've got to have your eyes in the right spot. You got to have your right adjustment. And I think that's something that kind of hurt us early is we weren't bumping out of the box far enough from a backer perspective. And again, when you start throwing like run pass options and you get that backer to bite and you can flick it out there to the number 2 real quickly, it's really hard. And then again, Chanute has in the past had good athletes that if you can make one guy miss, that guy can make you pay and he can take it to the house. For the most part, though, I was pretty proud of our guys. It probably was the best spread offense we've seen all year, not throwing shit at any other teams. Getting Harding, he's a 3-year starter, had a lot of success in the playoffs. And when he can sit back there and pick you apart from time to time, yeah, it's kind of tough. As big as of a boost it was for our offense to move Marlowe over, it kind of did set us back a little bit defensively. But I was very proud of Isaac Bishop stepping in, Bryson Clark stepping in. And, again, I know we've said it all year, yeah, we're a little young on defense, but our effort and our tenacity is there. It's just that as I talked to them this morning, it's like the effort's there. Now just start using that technique. Being disciplined, I think, is the biggest word that I would use when going against a spread team. It's just like Patrick Mahomes. If you sit back, eventually he's going to find that open window. Or if you bring heat, he knows exactly where to go right then and there. So, and again, being a younger defense, and again, I'm going to give Coach Graham credit on this one. Sometimes it's better just to keep things as simple as you can so they can play a lot faster to the ball. And I think that's one thing we have done well this year is playing fast to the ball. But it's also, again, you could do everything right defensively, and they still catch the ball. We did have some big third downs that they converted, one that was like on the sideline. I think it was in the third quarter. They said it was a catch. I have to go with what they said, even though I would love to argue. There's no red flags in high school, or not at our level at least. But again, it's just small things like that. And if you've been studying the game or watching the game, it's just you just see little things like that. It's like instead of it being a 2-yard gain, it's a 4 or 5 yard gain. Or if the backer takes too many wrong steps and then doesn't get over the top, or the defensive end doesn't squeeze that tackle and then spill. So again, it was, and I would say my standard for our defense is extremely high. They know it. It's not because I despise them. I love and care every single one of them, just I like my nerds over here sitting in the corner. But I challenge them every week, and it's important because there is a standard. There's the Fort Scott standard is what I'll call it. I never went to Fort Scott High School, but I played at Fort Scott JUCO, and it's just a mystique about the defense. Like, you got to bring it. You're coming to Fort Scott, or we're coming to your house, and you got to pay for every single inch that you're going after. And again, Kyler Keating, that was his first game stepping in at safety because we got to move Caden Cannon back down to linebacker, which he did a phenomenal job. Not just playing defense, but I think handling the situation, showing his maturity there was not just big for him, it was big for us coaches and for the team. And he was big on defense and on offense sometimes too with catching the ball. So hats off to him on that one. But again, what they were doing to us schematically was they do a numbers count. Hey, how many of you guys got in the box? Oh, if you got more than we can block, then we'll just throw it out there in the flat and they'll run. Oh, you have a light box, you only have 6 in the box. Oh, well, we'll just run the ball because we've got the numbers count. So that's all they were doing pretty much for the most part. But then you'd see flashes, and that's the term that I've been using all years. The light comes on sometimes, and it's like, man, we're tough. And then, oh, we're going to shut the light off for a second. I'm like, no, what are we doing? So that's just those growing pains as we've talked about. So
absolutely. You brought up a lot of great points there, and then kind of one of them that I already had jotted down that I wanted to ask you again is, like you said, realistically, I thought that spread offense was the best that we've seen. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chanute, like you said, 3-year starter with Harding. He's going to look the part. He did everything. It's not like he just woke up like on Friday night and was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I mean, he's a very vet-type quarterback in high school. And, we made some solid stops there, kind of getting in after halftime, making some adjustments. And obviously we talked before this, and we talked about growing pains, and we kind of hate that word, mm-hmm. but that's what we're kind of going through. But with that, we made some mid-game tweaks, and the lights came on a little bit longer than they didn't on off. But just kind of talk about what we saw it at halftime, what we thought we needed to do to kind of when we moved forward there because in the fourth quarter I think we tied. It was 6-6 is mm-hmm. what the score in the fourth quarter is. As Coach Stark always says, that's kind of one of the quarters you want to win, because if you got a chance to win the fourth quarter, you probably have a chance to win the game depending on where you're at.
Well, and again, I think we started settling in and actually started to get to our normal alignments of where we needed to be versus prior to the beginning of the game. As an outside linebacker, if you've got two detach or 2 receivers to your side, you technically have to bump. Well, if you're in the middle, you're not sure, the quarterback's not sure, do I give it, do I pull it? And at the beginning of the game, we were kind of a little too tight to the box, which didn't give us a great angle towards the back end. I think Kyler did settle in a little bit. We kind of got more to our base type stuff, but shout out to Aiden Ogren and Brody Stoughton. We kind of started doing some more stunts up front with our defensive line, doing some ETs or TE stunts. They're really, really good at it, and we haven't worked on it a ton. But when you can get pressure, or at least from one side, get that quarterback to start moving or keeping his eyes down, that does help the secondary a little bit. And again, going against a spread offense like this, you have to be disciplined in your drops. You just can't just drop to space. No, you have to expand to where those receivers are and understand that they're not going to stop running. They're going to keep moving. So we started getting more discipline on drops. But then we won that third quarter, or that fourth quarter. I think the punt that we blocked, Brody actually got a good push on the guard and then actually setting back in there, and we blocked the punt, and we took that, and we actually scored off of that. So, I mean, it really does come down to those fine little details of, are your eyes in the right spots? Are you dropping in the right spots? Are you playing basketball at some point, passing things off, hey, crosser, and then actually getting that pressure. On that last touchdown, we actually had 2 guys, unfortunately. Harding is tough to tackle in space. I will give him credit. He's a great athlete. I'm not sure if he's going to go play football or baseball or what, but that's a tough spot to be in. But we had everything covered up, and he was smart. He made one miss, made another one miss, and then he smartly threw the ball away, which I'm very thankful Kansas fixed that rule.
Yeah.
But, again, from a defense perspective, we did start bringing a little more heat. Probably 1, probably 2 backers from here and there. But, again, within our secondary, I try to keep things as balanced as I can. And for the first time in a long time, I haven't sent a whole lot of pressure this year. Years past I've had. But, again, I'm just trying to make sure that we've got guys everywhere. It's like, hey, we're in base, great. And it's like, oh, I start sending people, what? We're sending people? Oh, and it's like a light, like they start to kind of short circuit just a minute. So I just try to keep it simple for those guys and just let them play hard.
Absolutely. The KISS method works even after football, so it's always it's a good method to use. But, yeah, you brought up, discipline, and you brought up communication. Those are things that you're also going to use after football quite a bit in life. So it's good that they're kind of learning that on the football field. I obviously I advocate a lot for sports, teach you a lot more about life than just, a stick and ball game or a ball and foot and all that game. So it's big that they're still communicating and all that. And, I wanted to bring up the same thing with this team. I bring up a Stark. We never quit fighting, no matter what the score is. That's one of the biggest blessings I've seen in the Fort Scott Tigers this year. And like you brought up earlier, even though it's a new year, new coach, all that stuff, we're still getting everybody's best. SEK, anybody. If Fort Scott, it doesn't matter if we were 0-10 for the past 5 seasons. They're going to circle Fort Scott on their schedule because they're like, hey, we can go get these guys now, or they're going to try because they know we're going to come with that effort. So you shot out a lot of people. I wanted to give you one more chance to kind of just who stood out on you on Friday night. Obviously, Ryder Newton's still down. We're soon to getting him back from what we kind of heard. But, Karsten Miles stepped up quite a bit for us, and some other freshmen, Kyler Keating. Yeah.
And, again, you got to give credit to credit's due. Carson literally started linebacker in August, and he's worked his way through. He's going to be a great one. Rush Newton had to step in for his brother, and he played some Mike this past week. And, again, it's when you lose your commander-in-chief, it's just like the offense. When you lose your commander-in-chief, you really have to shrink the playbook at that point. So, but they've come a long way. They progressed, and I think that's just a testament to our program and our coaching that they've been getting better every week. And I'm even going all the way back to June 1st and just starting that, and it's just like, hey, this is the Fort Scott way. This is what we're doing. This is what we're all about. Like I said, Aiden Ogren's playing at an elite level, one knock on wood, because he really is. Brody Stoughton's been doing a great job. Jacob Adams been stepping in there, Caden, Paxton. And, again, you see the guys on both sides and special teams. So it's a total team effort. It's not just one or two guys. But, yes, if Ryder were to be able to come back this week, that would be fantastic. But those guys have done a good job, and they've been maturing. And, again, that's going to help us, again, down the road too, because the way I teach guys from the linebacker's perspective, and I know Coach does for secondary, yeah, you have one, but you're going to get taught more than just one because strength in numbers. And sometimes, and very fortunate, we've had a couple big classes coming in, and I've been there when we have 3 seniors, 3 juniors, and like 10, 15 sophomores, and that's tough then. So, But, again, kudos to a lot of those guys stepping up, and because Ryder was the only one, outside, and Caden were the only two that actually had real experience last year stepping in. And like I said, Brody's been doing a great job. Aiden's done a great job. So very proud of those young men.
Absolutely. We appreciate it, Coach Glades. And also, Coach Stark, you got a good one over here. He knows ball very well, so it'd probably nice to have him as a kind of a Swiss Army knife in your back pocket as a defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
For sure. But, kind of when you look at the defensive effort from your point of view on the sideline, I know you're kind of still working with the offense quite a bit, but you are the head coach, the HC. So what did you take away from how they battled against a team like Chanute last week?
I thought Coach Glades had a great game plan. I thought he did a really good job of putting our guys in position to be successful. I thought our linebackers played well. They stepped up. Coach Glades kind of mentioned, we had a lot of, I'd say, inexperience in that position group. The scheme that Chanute ran put those guys in a bind. And I thought they played hard and settled in and got better as the game went on. And then in defensive backs, Coach Glades talked about Kyler Keating, a freshman who started his first varsity game. I thought he played really well. He didn't play perfect. He had a couple mistakes, but, man, he had a lot of tackles. He was in the right position more times than not. The moment wasn't too big for him. And I do think, it needs to be said, like, the reason he's out there is because he's earned it. We didn't just throw him out there. He started off playing on one special team, excelled at it, so we put him on the field for more special teams, continued to excel at it. He got his opportunity to play on the defensive side of the ball, and he was ready for it and had a great game. I think our secondary is improving a lot. At corner, Dexter Williams and Gavin Miles have been solid all season. Those two seniors have done good for us there. Jax Armstrong, I feel like, is a kid who's really found a home at the cornerback position, and we get to see it in practice. We get to see it in JV games and stuff like that. But, man, he's going to be a good one. And sometimes it can get discouraging when you're a sophomore and you're behind a senior or an upperclassman or whatever it may be on the depth chart. But I'm confident in him, and when his number's called, we know he's going to be ready to go at his position. Shai's been playing well at safety all year. He's a very physical player. You see that every week. He's usually involved with some pretty big hits on the defensive side of the football. Coach Glades has talked about growing pains and maturing, and I think Shai's a kid who's matured a lot, and his communication has improved in the secondary. He's started to ask really good questions throughout the week. So you can tell he's starting to really think about it. His football IQ is improving a lot. His play on the field is improving a lot. And I'm excited to see him and really our defense finish the season strong. A couple other guys, like I need to echo what Coach Glade said. Aiden Ogren is playing at an elite level. I mean, on both sides of the ball. He's playing every game. When we watch film, he's gotten better. Every game. And that's awesome to see. And he's a great kid and has a great attitude. At the other defensive end, Marlowe had been playing there, and we didn't want to put him out on the defensive side.
I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback and a DN combination, but you never know.
They brought it up, and he's like, "You think he's not going to play there?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Smaller schools. You guys didn't go to smaller schools, but I went to 1A, and there's sometimes your
it's
quarterbacks,
rare.
your linebacker.
Sometimes,
there's some
sometimes it happens.
Opportunities kind of thing going on there,
and it does kind of speak to his skill set. But we had a lot of confidence in Isaac Bishop and Bryson Clark, two sophomores again we see him every day in practice, so we see him working hard. We see him in JV games making plays, and it usually starts to build. Players earn their spot. They earn their playing time. Those guys have put in the work, and they were ready to go when their number was called, and I thought they played well and had a lot of tackles in the game, and more so than just tackles. They played with great effort and played with pretty solid technique. So I think things are heading in the right direction. Super thankful for Coach Glades being on staff and being the defense coordinator and getting the guys fired up and everything he does to help us win on Friday nights. He does a ton that nobody recognizes. He's our tech guy on staff, which is a big job. It's a huge job in and of itself. He helps with the filming, helps with the headsets, helps with getting everything on huddle, obviously does a ton with the practice schedules and the scouting report. Defensive coordinator is kind of a thankless job because it's a ton of work. It's a ton of time. He's done a great job with that. He's a great example to the players on the team. The players on the team know that he cares about them. It's more than just football players. And I think you can see that with how hard they play out there in the game when they're on defense. I think a big part of how hard they play is because they really care about Coach Glades.
Yeah, and he's a very good coach and a very good man at the same time, and he might have helped the media guy out a few times at the beginning of season 2 to get everything set up, So we do appreciate him. But I do have one more question for Coach Glades before we get into our second break. We're at Wednesday of this week, so kind of what was your message to the defensive unit heading into this week? We won't, show a whole lot of what we're going to do with Circle in case that somebody's watching, the ops are watching, is what the kids would say. But just kind of into the week, what have we kind of spoke on and things that we're correcting and all that in practice?
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, I think we've had a great week. And again, it just comes down to the simple things. The little thing, if you take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. Getting lined up, getting the call, getting your eyes in the right spots, and then playing off that technique. Defense is about reaction. You don't know the snap count. You don't know where the ball's going. But if you're in the right spot, and I tell them, if we're in the right spot and we know what we're doing, we're pretty tough. Something that was wild back in Labette, it wasn't as great this last week against Chanute, but we had a 60% pursuit rate. We had 5 or more guys around the ball at the end of the play, which is insane. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, we're getting to the ball. Now, if we can match our technique to getting to the ball, we're really going to be tough. Coach Stark makes the joke, too. Well, they don't win if they can't score. So
Exactly.
and
That's pretty the simplest
that's
way
what
to
I
coach
do.
it. Yeah.
But again, it's just I think the biggest thing is you've seen them mature, and it's just like, and Coach Horn said, just put it all together now. Throw the lights on and rip the switch off, and just keep it on the rest of the season.
Yep.
So
make sure the generator's turned on too, so it never can shut off.
never shuts
like
off.
That. Yep.
Pay the bill.
Yes, but when we get back, we'll turn the page to the Tigers. Head out west to Tawana to face the Circle Thunderbirds, a matchup of two teams hungry to get back in the win column. With just 2 weeks left before the postseason. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Coach's Corner live from New Grille with head coach Jonathan Stark and defensive coordinator Matt Glades.
Bourbon County Cars knows that support for our local students, teachers, and schools creates a successful partnership that benefits the community. Show your support by attending a school event or game. Shop local for quality used cars at Bourbon County Cars in Fort Scott. Proud KOMB Sports Booster.
For financial services you can bank on, call City State Bank at 223-1600. Two convenient locations in Fort Scott, 202 Scott Avenue and 1012 South Highway 69. City State Bank is a KOMB, KMDO Sports Booster, and member FDIC. Find them fast in names and numbers.
At 98.3 FM, we really appreciate you listening. And we think you deserve something special. Be the first caller at 620-223-5580. And you'll see what we mean.
Accidents happen when you least expect them. Don't wait to make sure you are covered. At Gross Insurance Agency, our agents are here to keep you protected and get you back on the road. With one of the broadest selection of carriers in the region, Gross Insurance can get you a quote you will love at a price you can afford. Stop in at 18 South National or give us a call today at 620-223-2550. Gross Insurance Agency, small town customer service, big coverage. Follow us on Facebook at Gross Insurance Agency.
Farm Bureau Financial Services and Insurance offers competitive rates on insurance and helps provide live broadcasts of all the Tiger and Greyhound sports action. Call Farm Bureau Financial Services and Insurance at 223-3370 and ask for Todd Schmidt.
C-Can Occasion Shop loves being a Tiger sports booster for all Tigers, for all sports. When you want to show how much you care but words are hard to find, send something from C-Can Occasion Shop on South 69 Highway. Call them at 620-223-5190. Don Spirits Wines and Don Smoke Shop wants to remind you that your Tiger team concessions help make money. Why not attend a Tiger sporting event this week? Don Spirits and Wines and the Smoke Shop knows you'll love it. Don Spirits and Wines and the Smoke Shop are strong Tiger sports boosters.
K&K Auto Parts at 524 South National is a home-owned and operated parts store. They also fully support broadcasts of local sporting events on KMDO, KOMB. Call K&K for all your auto part needs, 223-1640.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner here at New Grille. I'm Dylan Duffy alongside head coach Jonathan Stark and defensive coordinator Matt Glades. Coach Stark, this week the Tigers head west to Tawana, Kansas to face Circle. Both teams enter at 1-5 with a playoff seeding just around the corner. Every snap counts from here on out. What's the message to the team this week?
Yeah, the message for the team this week has been, this is our moment. Step up and take it. If you feel pressure, great. If you don't feel any pressure, also great. We don't really care. This is our moment. We think we have strong leadership on the team, and we think we are ready to start playing our best football. So it's been frustrating to get to this point, but the reality is we've put a lot of really good work in. We believe hard work's going to pay off. And, we haven't made excuses all year. We're not going to start making excuses now. We play Circle this Friday. I don't care if their record's 1-5 or 5-1. We're going to get on the bus, roll in there, 2-hour drive, and we're going to get out the bus and play some of our best football, and we're going to expect to win the game.
Absolutely. You kind of always have talked, we got to start fast, play fast, and then, finish the game fast. And then, so Circle is a team kind of a lot like you guys. They're going to play hard all 4 quarters too. I mean, they want to win just as much as we do, and I think we have to understand that we're going to go in there and we expect to win. We're at that point in the season now when we're going into games. It's time to expect to win every time we get off that bus or get on our field. But they play tough and they'll be ready at home. Kind of what stands out about them on the film?
Yeah, their speed. They're really fast. It's another spread offense. Defensively, they're really aggressive. They run what I would call a 6-2 defense. They've got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, 2 linebackers. Looks to me like they play a lot of cover 0. I think they're going to blitz a lot. I think they're going to be really aggressive. They're a very fast team. I think they're a very skilled team. They've had a lot of injuries this year as well as what we've had. They've started a couple different quarterbacks. They've started 2 or 3 different running backs. They've got a ton of different receivers. They've got different linebackers out there. They got different defensive backs. They play a lot of guys in the game. And the thing I would say is, to their credit, like, it doesn't matter who's at running back. They all look fast and they all run hard. Doesn't matter who's at receiver. They're all, maybe not the best. Maybe they don't have the biggest size, but they're short. They're really quick and they've got great hands.
Absolutely.
They have a senior quarterback who's. I think he missed a couple games due to injury, but he'll be back in the game against us. And, man, he's got an arm. He's a big guy. He can run. He can throw the ball. The sophomore quarterback who filled in for him, he looked really impressive as well. So they're 1-5. They play in a really tough league. And, they're going to be a great opponent to go against.
Yeah, we're heading out west, and the biggest thing is they always say defense should travel, and it does travel. So defensively, what are we kind of be looking seeing from there on the offensive side?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, again, going back to that discipline and what they do. They're not quite like Chanute, but they will spread you out, and they run a lot of different concepts. Like I said, Coach says both quarterbacks have a good arm. I think one of their possible weak points is just staying consistent with the blocking up front. But when they lock on and he has time, it's dangerous. And like I said, they're kind of scary because it's like, oh, they got it all balled up, and all of a sudden you see number 3 just rip off a 75-yard touchdown. That was against Rose Hill last week. So I think it's just, again, being disciplined, getting to where we need to get to fit, and then ultimately finishing the play.
For sure. And then, we did kind of speak into we might try to get Ryder Newton back this week. I don't know if we're surprising anybody with that, but I know we can probably have him on a snap count, but just kind of want to talk about going into this week for both of you. If you get him on the defensive side or you get him a little bit on the offensive side, how's it feel to kind of have your commander-in-chief back on both sides of the ball? Even if it's for a few plays, I think the team camaraderie will probably boost a little bit if they see.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And, I'll be honest with you, we're still trying to figure out exactly what his role is going to be on Friday night. He's been very mature and he's worked extremely hard with his rehab of some of his health issues that he's gone through, along with his shoulder injury. So we're still trying to take things day by day and see how the rest of the week goes. And it's unfortunately one of those deals we're really not going to know until Friday. Honestly, until Friday around game time. I think he's going to be able to play some in the game. We regardless of what his role is in the game, I'd say it's just been awesome having him at practice, having him back around. He's looks a lot more like himself. He's flying around on the field in the reps that he does get, and he's having a lot of fun. And that energy and enthusiasm, I feel like, has been contagious to the other players on the team. Has been to me. I'm having a lot more fun with him out there on the field as well. So
yeah, for sure. And, it's one of those things, like, you might have to protect him a little bit from himself because we all know it's your senior season. He's going to want to be – I mean, if you ask him game time decision and you ask him right before the game, he's like, yeah, I'll play 180 plays.
It's a good thing he's not on the show and you didn't ask him because he would say he's playing every snap.
Yeah,
so.
He would have told you that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but going into that, this feels like one of the games where the team that's going to execute better and win the turnover battle will walk away with the momentum heading into the home stretch, with 2 games before the playoffs. So really, how important do you feel like this game right here, Friday night, is for our confidence moving forward as a team?
Yeah, I think it's important. Confidence is a funny thing. Like, what's true confidence? What makes you confident? And we've been trying to stress to the players all year, like, the only way you have true confidence is if you overcome adversity in a positive way. So you have some obstacle. There's something you do that's really hard, and you're able to do it. And that's how you build confidence. So, yeah, we could play, this is going to be, our 7th game of the year. We could have played 6 2A schools and be 6-0 and be super confident. Well, it's fake confidence. It's not true. Yeah. Like, I would hope I've got a lot of confidence in our team from how we played Friday night against Chanute. That was a great football team. They've got one loss, two losses. They're a great team. They've won the league the past 5 or 6 years. So I hope our players have confidence from just watching the film and seeing how they've played and the improvement that they've made. We are going to have confidence on Friday night. Because if we don't have confidence on Friday night and we think, we're not very good, it's not going to go well. So I feel like we do a good job as a coaching staff of being really honest with the players. I think we do a really good job as a coaching staff, quite honestly, not getting too much into wins and losses. Like, you're either a good football team or you're not. You're playing like a good football team or you're not. Your record is dependent on so many things. I mean, one, who are you playing? There's just so many factors. Who's healthy? Who's not healthy? And ultimately, when you get to the end of the season and you reflect back, your record is usually a pretty good reflection of how good of a team you were. I mean, I totally agree with that. But when you're in the middle of the season, I mean, we could go on a run and win our next 3 or 4 games. We could not win another game. I'm confident in our team, and I think we're going to play well on Friday. I think we're going to continue to play well the following week. I feel like we've gotten better every week. And I think it's just all kind of building up to this where I feel like, man, this is our time to really start making some noise and start finding a way to win these close games. I hope the players are confident. I know I'm confident in them, and I think Coach Glaze is pretty confident in them as well.
Sure. You want to piggyback off that, Denny? Or?
I mean, I just think it just comes down to, for this game, it's just travel well. It is a little drive. And like Coach was saying, just having Ryder practice was just a whole change to our – you just see the change in our people's, like, let's have some fun, let's get going. And then I think this is going to be a big game because it's the next game. But also, too, it's just like I feel like we're finally – like we're just been building, and then we're just going to punch through that ceiling and then just rock and roll from there.
For sure. And, it could be the turning point in the season. I mean, in the win and loss column, not just as we're playing, because we've been playing some really good football. And, Nick Wright, a big Chiefs fan, and he's on Fox Sports. He has the tackle that turned the tide. This could be the game that turns our tide, for the Tigers. But we're going to get to our final break of the night. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up from New Grille with final thoughts from both coaches and a message to Tiger Nation as we get closer to Friday night. And Tawan, stay with us. You're listening to Coach's Corner on Fort Scott TV, and I'll hit 103.9 live from New Grille.
It's your hometown diner, the New Grille, located in downtown Fort Scott. Great classic food served in a 1950s setting, serving classic cafe breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop in and enjoy their homemade chicken strips and onion rings, or American classics like cheeseburgers with grilled onions, Susie Q's, roasted chicken, and daily specials. Classic food served in a classic setting with hometown service. Stop in at 24 North National in downtown historic Fort Scott. Bowman's New Grille.
Union State Bank at 1009 South Clark in Fort Scott is proud to be a KOMB KMDO sports booster. They believe in our area youth and encourage everyone to attend Fort Scott Tiger and Fort Scott Greyhound games. Union State Bank, located at 12th and the Bypass in Fort Scott, member FDIC.
Stoughton Plumbing, proud to be another Tiger and Greyhound supporter. Steve Stoughton Incorporated, plumbing and electrical for all your residential, commercial, and electric sewer service. They also offer American Standard fixtures and parts. Call Stoughton at 223-3200.
Don Doherty and Doherty Insurance are proud of all of our area Tiger and Greyhound teams. See Doherty Insurance for all of your insurance, investments, and annuities at 14 East 2nd Street in Fort Scott. Another proud KOMB sports booster.
Don Spirits Wines and Don Smoke Shop wants to remind you that your Tiger team concessions help make money. Why not attend a Tiger sporting event this week? Don Spirits and Wines and the Smoke Shop knows you'll love it. Don Spirits and Wines and the Smoke Shop are strong Tiger sports boosters.
Since 1921, Billiard Hammer Hartman has been providing the insurance you need. Stop by the office, 20 South National, Fort Scott, or call 620-223-2970. Billiard Hammer Hartman Insurance, a proud KOMB sports booster for all of our area schools and athletes.
Old Ford Auto knows that sports, clubs, and BOAG encourages a brighter future while improving social skills and boosting academic performance. Proud to be a sports booster. Shop Old Ford Auto, 213 Scott Avenue in Fort Scott, or online at oldfortkansas.com.
Fort Scott Livestock is proud to be a KMDO KOMB sport booster and help bring our listeners exciting tiger and greyhound sports. Check their website out at www.fslivestock.com or call the office at 620-223-4600.
Your hole-in-the-wall liquor store at 124 East Wall Street in beautiful downtown Fort Scott is excited to be another sports booster. They believe in our kids, their parents, and this community. Let's fill up the bleachers and cheer our kids on with any sport. Hole-in-the-Wall Liquor Store, 124 East Wall.
Accidents happen when you least expect them. Don't wait to make sure you are covered. At Gross Insurance Agency, our agents are here to keep you protected and get you back on the road. With one of the broadest selection of carriers in the region, Gross Insurance can get you a quote you will love at a price you can afford. Stop in at 18 South National or give us a call today at 620-223-2550. Gross Insurance Agency, small town customer service, big coverage. Follow us on Facebook at Gross Insurance Agency.
And welcome back one final time from Coach's Corner, live from New Grille. Coach Stark, Coach Glades. Before we sign off, let's talk about the big picture. We got 2 weeks until the playoff push starts here for us. So kind of what's the focus from here?
Yeah, no, I think the focus is we are – it's kind of funny. Usually at this time of the year, you start to get really banged up and get hammered by injuries. I kind of feel like we're starting to get healthy.
Yeah.
We still have some guys who are banged up and playing through injury, but I kind of feel like we're starting to get healthier as a team. So I think if we can just continue to play hard and improve and build our depth, one thing I think that's really important in these close games that we've seen improve throughout the year, and I think, as we approach playoff football and these games that mean a lot for playoff seeding and things like that, special teams. It's the third phase of the game. I'll be honest, at the beginning of our year, our special teams did not perform up to the standard that we have for them. Coach Carney is a special teams coordinator. He's done a tremendous job all year. Our special teams has gotten better every single game. And I think you saw, at least on special teams, we put together a pretty complete game on Friday night. Caleb Hall's done a great job of kicking and punting. This last Friday night, we blocked 2 extra points. We blocked a punt. We got all kickoff returns caught. We didn't have any penalties. Pretty sound night from special teams. I think that's going to be really important moving forward. And I will say Coach Carney is one of those guys, he spends a lot of time on scouting report. He spends a lot of time making sure we are correcting our mistakes on special teams and getting the right personnel in the right spots. And then, he's got a knack for really exploiting weaknesses in other teams and finding a weak link on the field and not reinventing the wheel, but just using the schemes that we already have installed in place and, maybe dialing up a surprise onside kick or something like that. So he's done really good with that. He deserves a lot of credit, and I think if we can just play fundamentally sound football, be balanced on offense, take care of the football, win the turnover margin, continue to have great pursuit on defense. I think it all starts with alignment and assignment, and if you pursue the football, good things happen. I think if we do that, we're going to have a strong finish to the season.
For sure, and I before you go, I do want to say I don't care what the refs in Pittsburgh said. We're 1 for 1 on surprise.
No, that was recovered. That was all Coach Carney. He did a great job with that.
It was a good one. But Coach Glades, kind of defensive emphasis and kind of what your focus is here for the next 2 games and then push into the playoffs.
I just think the biggest thing is just focus and just go out there and just ball till you fall out.
Absolutely.
Don't hold anything back. It's not the last game of the year. I'm thinking of a Waterboy reference, but it's just I am beyond proud of these guys. It makes coaching easy. I don't care if we win or lose. If we're playing with tremendous effort every game, I almost say I don't care if we win or lose. I want to win. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you can see your kids playing hard, I don't care if it's for me, but when they're playing hard for each other, to me that's a win in my book.
Yeah,
because that carries over into life.
And we haven't had any shortcomings of not playing hard. I mean, any game. if you would have told us that every game we had a chance this year to compete in, I've talked with some other people, they would probably honestly have been surprised just with, the turnover, losing that many players kind of going into this season. If you would have said that if a stop here or there or a different outcome, the ball rolls a different way, that we had a chance to be in every game at some point, I think they would have been like, you're on something or something like that. But, credit to the boys and credit to the coaching staff this year, really making sure that everything's, solid and sound, and they're growing as we get better. Because like we talked about, you don't want to be week 1. You don't want that to be your best week. You want, week 8, week 9, 10, however long we can make it into it. Those be your best weeks and playing great football there at the end.
That's exactly right. We've been hard at work. Some other things I'd like to say, like we were able to pick up another freshman game. So our freshmen have 2 more games to finish this season, which is awesome. So this Thursday, our freshmen is going to play at Lewisburg, and then the following Monday, our freshmen are going to play against Parsons.
And one of those is at home, correct?
The Parsons game is at home.
Yeah,
so that'll be great. We picked up another JV game this upcoming Monday. Our JV is going to play at Frontenac. That's going to be a really competitive football game, and that's a great opponent to go against. So, Coach Clay's mentioned being proud of the players. We are extremely proud of the players. We know the wins are coming. We see the improvement every week. We think we're starting to figure out how to play good football. And, the wins are going to take care of itself. You got to be able to compete before you can win. And we've been competitive all year. So, it's our time. It's our moment. Step up, have some guts, and let's go get it done.
I love it. It's all about growth and building, that mentality and the momentum as we continue on for the rest of the year. But with that, we're going to have a long trip out west. This group will have a chance to really bond and reset together heading to Tawana. And I added in there that I get to stop for some Taco Tico. So I'm glad we get to go to Tawana Circle.
It is a long drive. I think it's a really cool thing that our league has a little bit of a gentleman's agreement. I think it's the Ark Valley League that Circle's in. There are some really good football teams in that league. And, with our schedule, we have the same schedule for 2 years at a time. So next year is actually the next cycle, and our schedule could change a little bit. Credit to Mr. Delatorre. I think our schedule is pretty solid. I think there's a good mix of, every year we have 4 home and 4 away. We play good teams, which is what we want to do. Paola is a great opponent to go against week 1. We play Parsons, who's a former SEK opponent, obviously Pittsburgh, former SEK opponent. So it's nice to play some of those local schools. But the agreement we have with this Ark Valley League, last year we played Circle. This year we're playing Circle. Well, then the next 2 seasons, the cycle changes a little bit. And our schedule will be the exact same, except in that Week 7 game next year, instead of playing Circle, we're going to play Wellington. With, anybody who's been in Fort Scott for a while, that's pretty cool that we're going to get in Wellington. Still a great program. They're a great football program. So the fact that we're going to get to play a team that we played, multiple times deep in the playoffs and state championship games and stuff like that 20 years ago, I think that's a cool thing for fans. Something to look forward to next year, maybe a little bit, because we won't play them this year, but we will play them the next 2 years.
For sure. And, another thing you reached out about Delatorre there was that we are going to commemorate, not this week because we're obviously going to Circle, but next week at home it's going to be senior night against Coffeyville, but we're also going to commemorate the it's going to be 25 years since the 2000 state team. And, Wellington was one of those teams for those, from about 2000, 2005, if I looked at the history right, that's who you battled out to kind of win 4A. So it's nice that we're going to get to see them kind of come to ours, and we'll get to go to them as well. But it'll be fun that we kind of have that handshake agreement with Ark Valley that we're going to play some of those teams to kind of, you don't have to wait till the playoffs to meet them. You might get to meet them and learn a little bit about them. If you happen to see them later on in the playoffs, you kind of already got a little bit of what they do and get some film of those teams out west.
Yeah, and it's, it's a very competitive league. There's some really good teams in that league, and it's kind of nice to, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It's fun to go on a trip and kind of get out of town and play teams that you're not familiar with. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to play well, and I think it's going to be a good night.
Absolutely. So we look forward to seeing you Friday night. Safe trip out there. But big thank you to New Grille for hosting us every Wednesday night. Great food, great folks, and always supporting Fort Scott Athletics. Come out and join us live each week right here, 24 North National in historic Fort Scott, Kansas. That'll do it for us tonight. The Tigers travel to Towanda this Friday to take on the Circle Thunderbirds. Kickoff will be at 7 for head coach Jonathan Stark, defensive coordinator Matt Glades, and everyone here at New Grille. I'm Dylan Duffy. Thanks for joining us for Coach's Corner on Fort Scott TV and All Hit 103.9. Have a great night, Tiger fans, and we'll see you Friday night under the lights. And as always, go Tigers.
Playing the greatest hits of all time. You're tuned to the fun one. Good times, great oldies. All Hit 103.9. KOMB-FM. Fort Scott.
You've been listening to the Coach's Corner, your ultimate inside track to Fort Scott Tiger football with head coach.
Playing the greatest hits of all time. You're tuned to the fun one. Good times, great oldies. All Hit 103.9. KOMB-FM. Fort Scott.
You've been listening to the Coach's Corner, your ultimate inside track to Fort Scott Tiger football with head coach Jonathan Stark and all the latest in high school football action. This week's Coach's Corner was brought to you on location from Bowman's New Grill at 24 North National in downtown Fort Scott. There's no need to travel for golden crispy fried chicken. New Grill serves roasted chicken that is flavorful